She's an author of the book Breaking Soul Ties and Womb Cleansing, and she's also an ancestral matchmaker. So I thought it was important to have her here today because we're going to talk a little bit about this whole Ginuwine effect, I'm calling it, where Black so-called masculinity, Black men being proud to be straight, being proud to love Black women is kind of seems like it's under attack. I've seen some articles recently called toxic masculinity, and I'm wondering what's toxic about masculinity. So Art and I, we're going to talk about this. Art, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Shaquita. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm doing really good, except for the fact that I have 2 sons and a husband. I'm being told that, you know, them being men, being Black men who want to be with Black women is somehow toxic. That's what I'm getting from some of these articles. I'm going to read from an article that I don't want to give any shine to, where it says something about homophobia and toxic masculinity. It seems like from what happened to Ginuwine, and for those who don't know, a few days ago, he was under attack, like on social media and everywhere, because he said that he did not want to kiss a transvestite, a man who did some surgery and now says that he or she is a woman now. He said, hey, listen, no, nothing against you. I just would prefer that my woman come here made as a woman and not somebody who became something like that through surgery. And so that was a problem for people. And then it also seems like when anyone says that they don't want their anus to be fondled with any object, that's homophobic. So, I mean, what's going on with that, Art? Are you seeing this?
Yes, I'm seeing it. It seems like you said, if you want to be in a loving, healthy Black relationship, there is something wrong with you, because we clearly see that they make a point not to show functional heterosexual Black relationships on TV, but what they do show us is the constant message of anything but heterosexual in front of us every day. We have to accept gay people in any type of programming we see. 5 years ago, we didn't see this much heterosexual and homosexual language in media. It's all over the place now. So we would be crazy, as we say in the hood, you either be, blind, crippled, or crazy if you don't see that in front of you. So right now, you have to wake up and you have to know that the attack is on, yes, you, the Black person, but you were made out of a man and a woman. So the ultimate attack is on the Black family. Okay, so if we don't know that, we're walking into slaughter, and we most certainly are making a decision to be asleep with such a blaring agenda right now. And yes, it is an agenda, and we need to know that it is, because we are actually at war, and this is a part of war. So in order to erase a species, you have to change the way that they operate. So it's no other way to attack us genetically than to attack our Black man. And we have to wake up as women and say, absolutely not, no more. We want our men and we want to procreate with them. And this is the only way that we can survive as people. It is anti-survival to think and have any other agenda above that of a man and a woman procreating.
Okay, so from this one article that shall remain nameless, it says, what is the gay agenda? Can you point me to the document that explains and outlines it? Then it goes on to say those questions are rhetorical. This is another one. How is it that with everything else going on, people want to point to the gay agenda as the thing that is tearing the Black community apart? And then it goes on to say, you don't have to bother trying to answer these questions because the point is simple. There is no gay agenda. Gay people are not trying to make everyone in the Black community gay. It seems like to me she's trying to minimize the person who wrote such ridiculous statements here is trying to minimize the reality of what is happening here. I think that anytime you have a situation where you cannot turn on the television, you cannot go to a movie and point to a Black man and a Black woman in a loving relationship with Black children that all look like they are Black, then there must be somebody purposely doing this. When I know I've worked in film and television before, there are a series of very long, drawn out meetings and planning that goes on to every frame that we see on the television. And so someone had to consciously say, this is we want it like this, we want it like that. And this has been going on for decades now, you know. And so the idea of toxic masculinity, what problem do you find with that statement, Art? And how do you see this impacting matchmaking, which is the profession that you're in?
Yeah, I believe that we should uphold and we need to check for and search high and low and celebrate that masculine, strong Black male, okay? Because they are trying to make him extinct. Toxic masculinity as a term is extremely problematic because language is very powerful and masculinity alone is beautiful, but when you put a word like toxic in front of it, now that sends a different message. So even by having masculinity alone, that's being toxic. That is the subliminal message in putting those two words together. That's the problem with that. So as far as matchmaking is concerned, I have a way of focusing on and finding and filtering only those men that have high protector provider instincts, because we have had a lot of social programming going on in our community where we have a lot of masculine women now due to social engineering and a lot of feminine and effeminate Black men now. So when we talk about trying to find proper mates and men that can take care of families and men and women that are in a healthy state of mind to build a strong Black empire, we have to get very specific about that personality type and temperament that we're looking for. For me, we only work for and work with people, Black men and Black women, Africans with high cultural identity. So people and men that have that warrior temperament. Who are these men that are clear about how to liberate the Black community? Who are these men when in this administration, you only have a few options? You either put on a dress, you get behind bars, or you bear arms and become like a Black Panther. Those are your only three options now. So for Black women that are intellectual, Black women that want to build empires and that are African-centered, we're looking for the warriors. And those are the only clients that we can have right now because we're clear that we're rebuilding a new Black society. And in order to do that, you have to adhere to very strict standards and codes. And we look for the top tier men, like I said, that have high protector and provider instincts, and that's an actual warrior temperament. So men that are clear about who they are and know their role in a white supremacist society and that are not afraid to make that empire and build wealth and be a strong king here. That's who we look for. And that's who we really teach Black women to search for, because we have to be wise with who we procreate with now as we rebuild. And that's something I talk about in the book as well. As we rebuild a new Black society, the sisters, we have to know these indicators and the subtle behavior cues of the men that are going to protect us, provide for us, and be the warriors that are going to help liberate our people and our communities. That's where we are right now as a society.
So yeah, I mean, you know, there's a lot of rhetoric or comments that you hear people say, oh, you know, well, Black people need to do this, well, Black people need to do that. Why can't Black people go back to Africa? Why can't, okay, well, first of all, if wherever Black people are, we have to have strong men. Like you mentioned, you said warrior men. Well, warrior men are men who have a vision, who are determined about that, who are self-motivated, men who will protect their community, will protect their women and their daughters and all of that. But at the same time, in one breath, you're saying, yeah, Black men need to do this, Black men need to do that. And then in the next breath, you're saying masculinity is toxic. And when it is the catalyst for all of that. And I think you made a really great point that as Black women, you know, we have to make up our minds. What are we going to do, right? Because, you know, there can be an agenda, there can be a plot. Everybody can make plans. What are our plans? Our plans, for me, in my viewpoint, are to embrace Black masculinity and make it a good word and make it something that is a valuable asset, a valuable part of a personality, whether it's in our husbands or our sons. We need to be telling them there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. That is some type of myth that's spun by racist white supremacists who want to deprive you of your God-given ability to be victorious and triumphant in everything that you do. That is masculinity. You know, you have that power inside of you to say that, yeah, oh, this mountain, I can climb it. Yes, this oppressor, I can defeat him. You know, whatever it is in your life, different obstacles that you face, you know, you have to have that masculinity to say, yes, I am equipped for this. I'm a match for this. And so as Black women, we need to learn to support, and I'm not even going to say learn. In some cases, it is learning because we have to teach our daughters and things, but there's a lot of Black women who are not on that. And there's a lot of Black men who are not on that. And we need to continue to make our voices heard that, look, there's nothing homophobic about this. A lot of Black men and women spoke up for Ginuwine. And we need to be raising young men who are like Ginuwine, like, no, thank you, sir / ma'am, or whoever you want to be. But I'm not into it, you know? All right, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that looks good on us as a people. It's time, and it's about time and high time, as we say, for us to say no, what we will not take and what is not okay. That sounds like somebody that absolutely believes in and has standards that he's willing to, you know, just go to the end, you know, of the earth with. I feel like you have to go to the ends of the earth with saying no to being homosexual nowadays. I mean, you have to be prepared to go the distance and to be criticized and to know that you have to just stand in your own convictions with that, whether anybody supports you or not. So big ups to Ginuwine because he made a bold decision to stick his neck out there. And I think it's up to us as a community to back him. And if we don't take a stand on this right now, the washing and the erasing process is so insidious. And this is somebody they're testing our pulse right now. And we have to say no, be right back and saying, no, we won't take that. We don't have to accept that. We will not accept this agenda. We will not accept transgender in America. We do not have to like it. We do not have to make this a part of our everyday life. We can say no to, just like people say me too, and I can say no to unwanted sexual advances. Well, God dog it, this is a Black man saying no to a transsexual man that's making an advance, an unwanted advance to him. So if we're sending a message to women to speak up about unwanted sexual advances, we need to do the same for men, because if we don't, this sounds like some low-key buck breaking, if you ask me.
Buck breaking. Can you explain what that is?
I sure will. This is when a Black man has no choice but to take the unwanted advancement of his oppressor. And in that situation with Ginuwine, this was a white man that was giving him, you know, he was trying to kiss him. This was an unwanted sexual advance. So telling me that he's wrong for saying no, you're saying the only thing he should have done was to say yes. So yes, buck breaking, this is when a Black man says no and they take it anyway.
So, and a lot of times we use these words, you know, homosexual, transvestite, buck breaking, but what we're talking about is anal penetration, right? So it sounds like to me that, you know, Ginuwine was pretty much like assaulted and harassed.
Yeah, he was harassed.
And that was followed up by bullying from the public in many ways.
Correct.
I mean, you know, that's disgusting. I'm going to get back to that, but let me stop for a second because I want to tell people who are interested that we are having the Nubian Essence Luxury Business and Wellness Retreat in June. So you guys definitely go ahead and get to the site, Nubian Essence Luxury Retreat.com, and get on the mailing list. We're going to be announcing more about what to expect for this. We're going to give you a way to get involved. And also when you go to the site, you will get the free access to the Business and Wellness Starter Program to get you on the path to wellness. So that's definitely something that you should check out if you're interested in being a part of it. I'm sure that these spaces are going to go quickly, so you definitely want to get involved. But back to that situation there, I think that, like you said, I think it's really a trip when, you know, it's like everybody has rights but Black men. Like if you're gay, you're supposed to be able to come out and stand on the rooftop and say, hey, I'm gay and I love it. You know what I'm saying? But you can't say that, oh, I'm a Black man and I love Black women and I'm into building Black families. And because if it was okay, why don't we see that celebrated on television? Why don't we see that celebrated on movies? But again, I don't want to get too far into what's happening with that, because people have their own agendas and we have to determine what is our agenda. So back to that, I want to say that I hope that we are taking the time as women and as Black men to nurture Black masculinity, to give it value, to celebrate it, to really embrace it fully. You know, with my sons, it's a shame that when I go and my husband goes to buy them clothing, we can't even find pants that are not clinging to their little legs and their little rumps and all of that. We have to buy clothes that are 2 sizes bigger. These are some things that we just have to do now, because the clothes, the pants that are for men and boys now are running so small. Yeah. You know, as men, for like my sons, I have to support them speaking up, listening to them, encouraging them to have an opinion. To my husband, being willing to follow what he says in his lead and to hear what is going on in his heart and his spirit about his vision for life, and being able to stand behind him and support him, and to not buy into stereotypes about Black men, because sometimes we're around our Black men and we act like we're halfway afraid of them because of what's been put out there. When you have every species on the face of the earth that has been raped by certain people, you want to claim that Black men are rapists and racist and all of that kind of thing. We Black men from the beginning of time have traveled all throughout this planet, bringing civilization and bringing peace and sharing love. And that is how we need to see our men. And that's how we need to project that image on them and to tell them who they are as they're growing, and nurture them as that. So I got crazy. I'm sorry. There's a lot to be said on that. This is something we need to celebrate. What do you think?
I think we do. We really, really do. Black men's voice, their preferences and who they are. Hell, they can't even live. They want to kill them. And now their opinions don't matter for them to even speak up. We have made such an environment, even in our own relationships in the collective for Black men, we've made it so unsafe for them to speak. We have become so out of order, and everyone has work to do. So I'm not just picking on the sisters, but we have to make that space safe again, so that our brothers can come back in our homes. We need the men in our homes for guidance, direction, and to have that vision for us and to protect us. So we need to make it a nurturing, safe, and loving and peaceful environment for our men again. I think the most loving thing we can do for our brothers is to build with them peacefully. So in the spirit of this, that's the best way to defeat our oppressor, is to come closer into each other and to check ourselves first and get over our traumatized issues, our pain, all of our suffering, everything that's been programmed inside of us, so that we will fuss and argue with our kinsmen. We got to get past that. We have to get through it, but it is actually a process, and I know it's easier said than done, but that is what we have to do. We have to create the love again within our kinsmen. We have to get past our own trauma and heal, because we know that we are in a burning house and we are not the ones that set the fire. So it's no need for us to keep fighting with each other. It's time for us to wake up and put the fire out.
Yes, so listen, I advise you to get right up under a Black man today, honey. No, just play.
Get up on, I like that. That sounds good to me.
No, just play.
Get up under our men.
No, but I mean, yes and no. Listen, when you see that masculinity, that's something to run to, honey. That is something to run to, because you want that protector, provider, you call it, but there's a lot wrapped up in that. Because I know for like with me and my husband, I learned a lot from my husband. Like I'm not afraid to say that I'm good at many different things, you know. I mean, I'm a technologist. I mean, I know a lot of different things, but I never feel like I know too much to learn from him. And there are things that he's taught me. I'm just saying, like, practical, simple, you know, I guess you would call it simple, but for me, it wasn't exactly common sense, but he was made for me. So he has something to share with me. And these are some of the things that we just need to get back to, you know, listening to, again, I can't say that enough, listening to our men, because they have leadership for us. They have valuable lessons for us. Am I saying that, you know, because we're going to have people in the comments, and I hate to address these people but so many people get wooed by these stupid comments where you say, well, what about black men doing this? What about black women doing it? Honey, look, black people, we're not above having bad people in our community. People act like if there's a black man or a black woman who did something wrong, that means something about the whole community. You have people who do things wrong, but for the most part, I have been protected many times by black men, and I've been hurt by a few black men. But I'm going to tell you something. There's black men who've come to my defense in my work environment. At times when I was broke down on the side of the road, have come and helped me. Yes. Or just whatever, you know, I've seen black men just go out of their way to be there for their community and for me personally. And that's what we need to hold out as a vision in any area, any outlet we have. We need to be screaming that from the mountaintops. It's like, yes, black men, yes, black masculinity. I'm all about that, and not let people turn us away from that, you know? So, all right, do you have anything else that you want to share about this, especially related to matchmaking?
Absolutely. Let me tell you something. It is my business to tell the narrative of how awesome our black men are. And I'm in Atlanta, and that's where I started my matchmaking agency back in 2011, don'tdatelosers.com. Until recently, at the end of 2015, I started to specifically focus on my people. No other people are as disenfranchised as us. And so I knew it was time for me to also tell the story about how many amazing black men I was meeting. I was like, I can't even date them all, like my Lord. And we have a bunch of women, a lot of women in our community. It's scary, it's unfortunate. They have drank the Kool-Aid, and they don't know how many amazing black men it is that are educated, making money, but because they've been so programmed and they've really taken on that as the truth, they can't meet them. Mm-hmm. They're not attracting them. They're not going to attract that black man because they really don't think that they exist. So yes, that plays a huge role in what I do, even in my commentary, because we have to talk about the other story that's not getting told in the media about all of these black men. See, they know, and I know that they sense that this is a black woman who rides for them. This is a black woman who also was raised with only brothers, with older brothers. And I get masculine energy a lot. I understand black men, but they're like an ally to me. There's no other person on the face of the planet that gets me and understands me like the black man. And I know that, which is why I feel like that's why we're kind of 5-to-1 heavy with me and the women, because the men know Miss Kathy, she likes us, and they flock to this matchmaking agency because we are about telling the story of all these high quality, high caliber black men that are looking for quality black women. And my sisters don't seem to know where they are, but my sisters are programmed. And so that's a huge part of our services, is recalibrating singles to get back in a space where they can even attract love and have a healthy relationship. We have to get past all the programming to do that.
Exactly. And I like how you said, talked about that programming we have, because see, right now in the media, we're being programmed to where our heart lights up when some other ethnicity of man is into a black woman or a black man. I mean, you have some people that desire approval from other ethnicities, and just the look from a person of another ethnicity, it makes their heart light up. Whereas, see, that's what we have to have for our black men, and many of us do, and I know I do, honey. Look,
yes.
The black man makes my damn heart light up like a Christmas tree.
Oh, it's nothing like, honey, please.
We have to stop buying into these Euro standards, okay? No, I don't want, you know what I'm saying? Listen, black men are just, they have a swag of their own.
Oof.
Shout out to my husband.
Mine too. I love you, baby.
They have a swag of their own, and the only time we're allowed to applaud it is when they're using it to sell something in the mainstream media or whatever. But that is ours. That is of value. We're always told as Black women, no, your hair doesn't have no value. Your shape doesn't have any value. Your seed has no value. You don't need your womb. Give me that womb. You know, your skin color, it has no value, and your man has no value. You need to stop letting people tell you that what you have isn't worth anything, because I've learned that that's the fastest way to steal something from you. People who want what you have are going to tell you that it's not worth anything so you can give it to them. You know, and so I'm not going to go too far into that, but see, let's stop, all right? And I can't say enough how I just love the fact that there are so many Black men out here who are not buying into this narrative, and they're not on this. No, they don't get the media platform like all of these other people who are willing to compromise and sell their souls and bend over backwards and inside out to take that thing in the back. But they're out here. And like I've seen so many hateful articles against our men. 80% of the Black men in Atlanta are gay. If you don't stop, and people believe that, you know, like I had a friend who was moving here to Atlanta talking about wait a minute, I don't want to be, you know, by the gay, you know, are you seeing this gay thing happening and all of this? She had kids and stuff. I'm like, honey, I do not see that. I do not see that here like that. You know, is there a segment of community? And again, no hate to any of those people. I first of all, Black people don't go around the world hating people. So that's why I don't even really give airtime to that conversation. Black people are not the ones who go to this country and say, oh, we hate you. Or you're in our country, we hate you. We don't like you because you this. You need to do that. We are not the ones who go around the planet telling people who they should be, telling people they're inferior, telling people that they're not worthy, telling people that they're bad and they deserve to be killed and they don't deserve to live. We don't do that. So no, we don't hate homosexuals or transvestites. We the type of people be like, yes, let everybody be. We on this planet together. Let's live, let's love, let's laugh. That's the kind of people we are, you know? So Black people don't get down like that. So don't tell us that for us to love Black men, to want our children to be raised to where they can say, no, don't touch my anus, that's something wrong with that, you know?
Wow. You know what? It's sad that you have to say, I don't want you to touch my anus. This is where we are. We're having to defend our men right to not have their anus fondled. If that don't sound like some new age buck breaking, I don't know what it is. Honestly, like no, forget me too. We need to say no fondle. Like what hashtag do we need to come up for our men? It's like no modern day buck breaking.
Don't touch my anus. Hashtag don't touch my anus.
Hashtag don't touch my anus. You know, hashtag no buck breaking, because let's just call it what the dang on thing is. If this is buck breaking, you are forcing a sexual act on a heterosexual Black man in front of his community. You got to remember the humiliation factor that they put in there. They do it to those that are put out there, and even sometimes to the most masculine male, but it's to make a point, and they do it publicly. So if they publicly get you to submit, that's a message, right? So all of these messages that they're sending by testing and trying and seeing who gonna bend and all that type of stuff, we need to be right on their tails and holding up the banner and saying, no, thank you. We will not have buck breaking go on again.
Mm-hmm. And saying, listen, you know, we love our men. You know, we love you and we need you to be, you know, just all of that you are. Yes. I'm sorry, when I talk about Black men, it just makes me blush, because it's just like loving yourself. And Art, you talked about this before. I mean, like when you're in love with yourself, you're in love with the Black man. That's just part of it. And the same thing, the Black man for the Black woman. When you're in love with yourself as a Black man, you love the Black woman. You thank God that you came here in Black skin. You thank God that your Black father and your Black mama came together and brought you into this world. And it's See, we don't have that exuberance about
Exactly.
Blackness, honey. When you really understand who you are as a melanated being and the people you come from. And I'm not talking about, oh, I overcame slavery. Oh, I got free. No, listen, please go back. Please don't see yourself from the context of the Ma'afa. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That was a short period of history. Even right now, even if you take it, depending on where you start measuring, if you start measuring 400 years or 600 years or 1,000 years, baby, that pales in comparison to how long we've been on this planet, dominating, loving, living, innovating. That's nothing. That's like catching a 24-hour cold. And when we start to realize that right now we're just like in a 24, 48-hour cold, all we need to do is, like you do when you have a cold, nurture yourself, get your immune system popping, and then you're back out there. You know what I'm saying? That is what we're not seeing. And so, again, you know, shout out to my husband, because he holds me down. If you don't know what it's like to have a Black man hold you down, look, I'm done. I'm just done. Because I get to talking about Black men, Black people, Black children, Black love. I am just on another high. It's just something, you know.
I do. That's what they don't want. They don't want us to be excited about Black love. They want us to be, you know, scared. They want us to be upset. They want us to be fussing and arguing. They love those doggone gender wars. That's what they want for us. They don't want us to see the war that's being waged on us. They want us at war with each other. And that's something else that we talk about, how these counter warfare tactics to get back on the road to relationship recovery is something I talk about in chapter 2. We have to go back into creating a psychological distance and a barrier between, you know, the oppressor and the dominant society. And it's ways to do that. And it's ways to get back into each other and to really unify so that we can get back on the road to relationship recovery. Also, it's something about acknowledging the Black man in public. These are things that we have to bring into our everyday experience to start coaxing and to start rebuilding that relationship again with our kinsmen. And something just as simple as acknowledging them. Every time you see a Black man, don't let any day go by without acknowledging the presence of every Black man you see, with a greeting, with a hello. In my own everyday life, if my man and my husband cannot drive me somewhere, I always drive Uber Black. In Atlanta, we spoiled. I get a lot of Black Uber drivers only. But if I see anything other than a Black man's face, I cancel that ride, because my Black man, he's the only one that can carry me. He's the only one I'm safe around. And it's too hot out here in these streets. I can't be carried around by Mark and Craig and Bubba Bob. I don't trust them like I trust my man, my brothers. Okay, so that's something in my everyday life. Get me around the brothers. And it's like almost like I feel like my brothers are moving me forward when I let them drive me. Everything about a Black man I get excited about. It's like my cavalry has come to get me. When my husband comes in the door, when I see a Uber driver come pick me up, I feel like that is my safety and that's my strength. And I bring that to them when I get in the car. I'm so thankful for their presence. I really am. And when I tell you we need to get back there, they don't know what they're missing. They've been so far away from the Black man for so long. You don't know how good it feels to be at peace and to be friends with them and to build with them like that. It's nothing like it. And that's why, and I know it's so sweet. And I can tell this is why they want to keep us at odds with each other, because you get stuff done. You start rebuilding those empires again.
Oh, honey, there is so much to say on that, baby. When Black people get together, I just think about there's so much we bring to the table when we get together and we love each other. There's so much to be said for that. It is a beautiful thing, honey. It's nothing like it. It's nothing like it. So listen, I'm not gonna, I just could talk about this forever and ever and ever. This is the purpose of my life. Black family, Black love is the purpose of my entire life. Do you understand that? Yeah. And so, you know, I never get tired of that. And love is not strong enough of a word for the way that I feel about Black people and the Black man. And just look, let me stop, because y'all don't understand. All right. But look, I'm gonna tell y'all again. I want y'all to go to Nubian Essence Luxury Retreat.com. Get on board this train because it's going somewhere, guys. You need to be involved with this. If it's something you want to do, get your summer goals set and be a part of this. It's really like a 6-month boot camp. All right, we're talking about a 3-day retreat, but it starts as soon as you register, and I'll be having some announcements about that coming out really soon. All right, listen, I just want to thank you.
Thank you, Shaquita. I blush when I talk about my husband too. I feel so privileged and lucky and all of that. And I look at him, I'm like, oh my God, is this mine? I blush talking about it too. That's why I'm like, girl, you about to make me feel some type of way. Let me get on out of here and get to my man.
It's a trip because, you know, when you say, like, what comes to mind when you hear this? Because I'm laughing and I'm blushing because in my mind, when I hear Blackness, I see beautiful things. The images that are connected to Blackness for me are not about all of this other stuff that people are putting on us. I see, you know, the Isaiah Washingtons, the Idris Elbas, the Jaima Hansus, you know, and, you know, right here in my household surrounded, I'm the only woman in my household, you know what I'm saying? And I look at how the Black man grew inside of me, and to now how he's sprouting, my 12-year-old taller than me, you know. These are the images that I get, not this whole toxic, I know you ain't saying toxic Black masculinity. It ain't no damn such thing.
That's what they want to say.
Girl, please, if you don't go somewhere, give me that masculinity, honey.
All of the masculinity.
I'm done. Listen, let me get off here. All right. I love you. I thank you.
I love you too, Shaquita.
And I hope you guys are inspired.